Today we talk about Gates to the Underworld by Dark City Games. This is a pre-programmed micro-adventure for the Legends of the Ancient World system. This is a system that I tried playing the free sample adventure Orcs of the High Mountains that you can download from the website of the company. But then since I enjoyed that game, which is a short adventure, I wanted to try a full adventure. So I played this one, which is much longer, much more complex, narratively complex, also pretty hard to beat. The general idea, I will not tell you too much. I don't want to give you too many spoilers because part of the fun, of course, is to discover the adventure. But things that you know in the first couple of paragraphs, so I don't think I'm going to ruin too many things for you. You're traveling in this region on the mountains, and there are strange news that reach you of people that have disappeared. Entire villages have been destroyed in attacks by mysterious creatures, entities. Nobody knows exactly what's going on. Rumor has it, though, that 3 demons have escaped from hell, and well, now it is up to you to stop the destruction. You will need to find a way to summon these 3 demons back to hell and to seal the gates of hell so that then the demons don't go back out as soon as you turn your back. In order to do so, you will need to travel to the realm of the dead yourself. You will, yes, have to journey through hell, no less. It is a theme that has been explored in fantasy, in different types of, fantastic fiction, Constantine, the movie Constantine, and the comic books before. I grew up in Italy, so we grow up reading Dante's Divine Comedy, so we're accustomed with the idea of mortals traveling through hell and even purgatory and heaven in the case of Dante. But this is the idea. You have to find the clues that will allow you to figure out how to stop the demons, and then you have to complete your adventure by traveling, well, down there. The adventure, because of the infernal theme, is pretty graphic. Well, not at the beginning, it's sort of like just traveling in the wilderness, but the core part of the adventure has some graphic depiction of tortures that people in hell are undergoing, and it should be the way. Hell shouldn't be too nice. So just a little warning in case you're planning to play the adventure with some young gamers, with your kids. This may not be the best adventure to start with. Another thing, this is an advanced adventure. That means that you need your characters to be strong to face the monsters and the fights that are waiting for your adventurers in here. And my characters were not advanced. I only played the initial adventure, so my characters were still pretty basic, but I wanted to keep the same characters, the Valkyries, this theme of girl fighters, wizards, and warriors. So what I did was I gave them some extra skill points so that they could become stronger. Then they gained some experience, and at the end, and because of the experience, they also improved their skills. And at the end of the adventure, I took away the skill points that they had borrowed, so they went back almost to where they were before. They're stronger than they were before, but they're still retaining only the stuff that they gained. So I think that was a good way to both keep my characters and play an advanced adventure. I guess that if later I had to play basic adventures, I'll do the other way around. I'll take away points temporarily, but as you can see, there are ways to adjust your characters to play the system, or you can just create advanced characters for the adventure, just starting from scratch. But this is the general picture, an advanced adventure where you will have to travel to the underworld. Now let me show you the components, and then I will tell a little bit more about the way in which the game plays. This is the map for the game. It is printed on thick paper, and actually it includes 3 maps, 3 areas that you will use to resolve battles, and the rulebook will tell you which area you use in each battle. Some battles will take place in this area here, in this type of board here. Some other battles will be resolved here, and some battles here in this larger area. This area is also used for other types of actions, not only battles, but I'm not giving you any spoilers. You will have to find out what actions you have to resolve there. The counters are mounted, but they come on a single uncut sheet, so you have to cut them by yourself. Let me show them to you a little more up close so you can get a sense of the graphics. You have ugly animals from the wilderness and ugly monsters from hell, and I mean quite literally from hell. You also have counters to represent your heroes, but I still use the Munchkin Babes miniatures that I use to play the intro adventure Orcs of the High Mountains. I do use the other counters for the monsters, but my heroes at this point are the Munchkin Babes. Then you have the book of the adventure, Gates to the Underworld. Pretty nice cover illustration, I think. At the beginning of the book, you have all the rules that you need. All the rules of the series, combat, character creation, skills, abilities, spells. So you do not need, strictly speaking, the rules that you may have printed out if you played the free sample adventure Orcs of the High Mountains, as I did. Then you have the adventure itself, starts with paragraph 001 and continues until paragraph 2, 3, 4. Well, not exactly until that, because of course it is not a continuous linear narration. You jump from paragraph to paragraph. There are some illustrations in black and white in the rule book. Not many. And they're pretty much illustrations that come straight from the counters, but there are enough of these illustrations to make the rulebook a little more pleasant. The rulebook, I mean the adventure book, a little more pleasant. But of course, the point is not to look at the illustrations; it is to play the adventure. And with 234 paragraphs, of course, the adventure is much longer and more complex than the intro adventure Orcs of the High Mountains. So let me tell a little bit more about the adventure in detail. The adventure is advanced. Oh yeah, it really is. And as soon as you start playing the game and facing some of those monsters, you realize why. And as you progress, the monsters will become tougher and tougher. There are some really tough bosses to beat, so definitely a challenge there. Also challenge because of the way in which the narration is set. You will need to find clues, to collect clues that will allow you to perform what you need to perform next. I'm trying not to tell you too much, but you have to send those demons back to hell. So as you can imagine, I have to figure out how to do that. So you have to collect the clues, then you'll travel to hell, and you will try to survive there and to use those clues to your advantage. And you may have to go back and forth several times from the realm of the living to that of the dead, collecting clues and using them. I know I had to do that. I was going in and out of hell so often that I thought you could just put a revolving door there to make things easier, but that may not be your experience. At the entrance of the Underworld, there is a special puzzle riddle that you have to solve. It is one of those riddles where you have different characters telling you different things, and you have to figure out who is telling the truth and who is not. If you're familiar with this type of puzzles, riddles, then I think you can solve this in 2 minutes. I took the challenge seriously. I sat down, started taking notes and making my own diagrams, and in 40 minutes, just 40 minutes, I was able to solve the puzzle correctly, so I'm very proud. If you play this adventure and you solve the puzzle in a minute or two, don't tell me. Just don't tell me. Why would you do that? Why would you ruin why would you hurt my pride that way? Just let me be happy. But you also have that aspect. You also have other parts in which you resolve special types of actions and interactions that are not strictly battles. So there definitely is a variety of experiences that can come out of the adventure. The battles are interesting to play. You have different areas, different types of boards, and each board may have a different setup from battle to battle. In fact, for the flow of the game, the flow of the game is different from Orcs of the High Mountains. That really was a series of battles loosely linked by a very thin narration. Here, the balance between narration and the wargaming tactical fighting aspect is much, is much more balanced. Basically, the balance is there. In fact, the narrative aspect is more developed, the descriptions are more atmospheric, the theme is much better represented. You really have the sense of a journey that is being created as you are traveling and experiencing different things. But then on the other hand, you also have the tactical wargaming aspect. And I think the two aspects blend in pretty well. They do enrich enrich each other and create a nice adventure. So I would say that the module definitely manages to do what it's meant to do, which is to recapture the feel of the old choose your adventure books, of the old wizard and melee combat systems from 20-30 years ago. And I think the adventure here does a good job, and I think that the system is pretty interesting precisely because it allows this type of adventures to exist and to work and to be enjoyable and very approachable, very easy to pick up. And yes, this is pretty much the bottom line. The adventure works. The adventure is fun to play. It has both a strong story component and a very interesting word game fighting component. So definitely it appeals to me. I had a lot of fun playing it. I don't see why you wouldn't. I think that if you're into this type of adventure, paragraph-based experience, this is a very good example of what that type of games can do. I know that I was convinced by the game. I enjoyed the game, and I'm definitely going to play more games in the series, and also in the future I'm going to explore other systems for the Dark City games, and that means that if you're following my reviews, you're going to see more reviews of these games.